What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Jets Media. My name is Richie, and we are live here on Bleacher Report at the same time as Jets Media on YouTube. The party is over on Bleacher Report. The link right now is pinned at the top of the chat on YouTube, so make sure you guys come over here. Let's go. All right. If you hear some congestion in my voice, I am definitely battling some type of illness right now, but it's okay because I am not going to complain, and we're going to come on here and talk some Jets as we always do every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST. So let's get into business. We had some breaking news today. We had some breaking Jets news today that I first wanted to talk about. This is sad news, man. I mean, you talk about a guy that just retired from the NFL. Jordan Travis has retired from the NFL, and it's sad. It's a sad day. If you guys know me, I am somebody that was pounding the table for Jordan Travis to be the pick. I wanted him last year because I felt like he had some promise as a quarterback in this league. Last year, remember, we had Aaron Rodgers. So we needed somebody of youth to sit behind Jordan Travis since we're trading away Zach Wilson last year. And the Jets decided to take a swing on the FSU quarterback, Jordan Travis. And I think it was a good swing because you look at the tape and what he was able to accomplish at Florida State. The tape does not lie. The man is a winner. You look at Florida State now. They are nothing without him. That injury, of course, set him back and unfortunately forced him to retire. And this is a guy that a lot of Jets fans had high hopes for in the upcoming season to be a long-term option, whether that's a long-term backup, whether that's being the QB1 of the future, who knows? But there's so much to be excited about with Jordan Travis as a talent, and it's so sad that it is getting ripped away because of the injury that he suffered. And it's sad, man. It is definitely a sad day to be Jordan Travis because this is a guy that was supposed to be someone in this league. And I know Jets fans are feeling it, but more importantly, no one's feeling it more than Jordan Travis himself. And that's who's hurting the most. That's who's hurting the most. So my thoughts and my prayers goes out to Jordan Travis. I hope he is okay mentally because this is not a tough decision. He was recommended to retire. It's not like he, was told to retire and he's trying to fight it. Like he literally has to retire. There's no other option. So that's really where we're at right now. And it's sad. You look at what Jordan Travis was able to accomplish in FSU. A lot of Jets fans thought that he could accomplish something similar with the New York Jets. And he released a statement as well. And I'm going to pull that statement up because I think he deserves an opportunity to let his voice be heard on this sad day. 110%. He deserves an opportunity to let his voice be heard on the day that he had to announce retirement, man. Here it is on your screen. I gave everything I had to the rehab process, but despite all my efforts, my leg never responded the way we hoped. After much prayer and consultation with the doctors, medical experts, and my agent, I've been medically advised to retire from the game I love so deeply. Man, who's cutting onions? Who is cutting onions? Because that is sad. You talk about something out of a nightmare for a player. I really, really hope he's okay. He also released this long statement. If you guys wanted to screenshot this, pause the show and read it yourself. Feel free to do it. He had some interesting things about the New York Jets. To the entire New York Jets organization, thank you for believing in me and providing me the opportunity to live out the ultimate dream. Wow. It's crazy, bro. It is absolutely nuts that this had to happen. You go to his X account, it's nothing but all of his former teammates at FSU, showing him love, showing him everything. And it's just one of those things that it reminds you that this sport is a violent sport and anything can happen, and don't take anything for granted in this sport, man, especially when you're healthy. Never take this sport for granted, these players. And I think that it adds some perspective for me, too, as a fan of this game. These guys are out there sacrificing their livelihoods to play football, right? And they're doing everything they possibly can for their teammates, for their coaches, everybody that believes in them. Of course, they're getting paid handsomely, but that's not the point. So devastating that we'll never get to see Jordan Travis trot on an NFL field. And I wish him nothing but the best moving forward in his journey, man. I had to start off this show by acknowledging Jordan Travis, because if you guys watched me last year for my draft coverage, you know I was very high on him, and I was very happy that the Jets drafted him. He was the guy I wanted the Jets to sign. He was the guy I wanted the Jets to bring in the NFL draft last year. And now it's done. So sad, sad stuff. Now, getting into some other news. What does this mean for guys like Brady Cook? Right? Brady Cook now is an undrafted free agent for the New York Jets. And I think that now you look at what Brady Cook can accomplish, you never know. You never know. I'm going to put Brady Cook on the screen real quick, because I think Brady Cook now is an undrafted free agent, and now all eyes are on him. All eyes are on Brady Cook. And some people will be like, is that real? Like, people actually have their eyes on Brady Cook? I think there should be, because now there's literally nobody behind Justin Fields. There is nobody behind Justin Fields. So I think that you look at what Brady Cook brings to the table. I made a whole video on him on my channel. So make sure you guys go check that out if you didn't already. I think that he went undrafted for a reason, and I'm not going to bore you with a long, detailed analysis of Brady Cook, but this is definitely somebody that Jets fans are going to start to pay attention to when rookie minicamp starts, when OTAs begin, when training camp starts, because the Jets elected to not draft a quarterback in this year's draft class, right? The Jets did not draft a quarterback in this year's draft class. So that tells you, first of all their confidence in Justin Fields. That's number one. Justin Fields is their guy, and I think that is proven 110%. Now, of course, another quarterback on the roster is Adrian Martinez. He was the fan favorite last year, and I think Adrian Martinez is an interesting name. I'm not going to sit here and expect much from him. I think he's a great story. I think he did provide a lot of fun stuff for the Jets last year in the preseason. I remember, he looked really good. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. He looked really good last year. And he's another guy that a lot of people are going to expect to play this season, in the preseason more specifically, right? So that's really the quarterback room. Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields, Adrian Martinez, and Brady Cook. And I think that Brady Cook actually has more potential in my eyes. Like, if I had to grade or rank the two young quarterbacks on the roster, it has to be Brady Cook over him. But that's no disrespect to Adrian Martinez. Now, Justin Fields is the guy, right? That's the real important thing here. It's Justin Fields' team now. We saw a nice video of Justin Fields throwing it around as a Jet for the first time. That was pretty cool. I'm sure if you're a Jets fan, you saw that on your feed. That had to hype you up. If it didn't hype you up, come on now. Now, I know hyping up is a little extreme, but it's cool to see our guy out there throwing the rock around, man. Throwing the rock around. Here's the clip if you missed it. Justin Fields letting it rip to Garrett Wilson. Now, these are two guys that have chemistry. They understand each other's tendencies. They have a familiarity with each other from Ohio State. And I think that Justin Fields is going to provide a spark to this offense that we have not seen before. He is going to provide a spark to this team that we have not seen before. And what I mean by that is the offense from the run perspective. Running the football is going to be a priority. And we're not just talking about Breece Hall. We're not just talking about Braylon Allen. We're not just talking about Isaiah Davis. We're also talking about the quarterback position. Now, is this an impressive throw that Fields made? No. That's not the point here. Me showing off this throw is not me telling everybody, oh, look, Justin Fields is going to break out because he threw a football to Garrett Wilson for 10 yards with no one defending, and that is not what I'm doing. But if you're a Jets fan, it is always exciting to see your brand new teammates linking up on the practice field. It is. And if you're not a Jets fan, then this does not excite you or bores you, and that's okay. So I think that there's a lot of hope on this offense because of the new identity that they're forming. the new identity that they're forming here on offense is going to be a lot of fun, man. And I think that the run-first attack is going to be awesome. And I think it starts up front, man. It starts up front like it always should be, but now the Jets actually have an offensive line to be excited about. You look at what this Jets offensive line looks like on paper, I think you can argue it's the best offensive line the Jets have ever had in a long time. And if you're a Jets fan and you don't agree with that, please let me know why. Because this offensive line right here is absurd. The draft pick of Olu Fashanu changes the game. It changes the look. It changes the whole perspective of this Jets football team. And when you are a team that can now rely on running the football the way that the Jets are going to expect it to play, it's going to be fun. And I think that getting Olu Fashanu last season in the first round, drafting Armand Membou this year in the first round, drafting Joe Tippmann 3 years ago in the second round, trading up for AVT, it's finally all paying off. It's finally all paying off. And I think this is the best offensive line since D'Brickashaw Ferguson retired. Exactly. I really, really do. The Jets have been looking for a franchise left tackle since D'Brickashaw Ferguson retired. The Jets have been looking for a long-term answer at center since Nick Mangold retired. And let's also not forget, the last time the New York Jets made the playoffs, their offense was a big reason for it. Their offensive line, 14 years ago and counting. Are you kidding me? 14 years ago and counting, bro. That is absurd. So I think you look at what this Jets team has on paper from an offensive line, it starts there. And the fact that this Jets regime prioritized this offensive line in the first round tells you all you need to know. And I wanted to take a moment, and this is an unpopular thing here. I'm going to give Joe Douglas some love because Joe Douglas brought in 4 of the 5 offensive line. Now, he deserved to get fired because he whiffed on the most important position in the sport, which is quarterback. Drafted Zach Wilson, traded for Aaron Rodgers, both busts. He deserved to get fired. But what Joe Douglas was doing was building this offensive line. And he's responsible for trading up for AVT, for signing John Simpson, for drafting Joe Tippmann, for drafting Olu Fashanu. And now Darren Muji and the Jets this year put the final piece of the puzzle together, which is Armand Membou. And I don't think people realize how good of a football player Armand Membou really is because he brings so much juice to this team, and the mindset that he's going to bring to this football team is what we've been lacking. Mauler mentality, folks. Mauler mentality. I have a jersey swap of Armand Membou. His jersey number is not finalized, so I don't know if he's wearing number 70. But here's a jersey swap. This is the first look at Olu Fashanu as a New York Jet. And the fact that we have 2 first-round picks at tackle is exciting me, bro. I'm not going to lie. I think that what the Jets have shown us is that they are prioritizing the positions that need to be prioritized, bro. And it is so refreshing. It absolutely is so refreshing, man. So shout out to the New York Jets for bringing that in. Now, I want to go deeper into the rest of the class for the New York Jets because I think there's a lot of intriguing names that the Jets brought in. And I want to start off, of course, we just broke down Armand Membou, but now let's get into Mason Taylor because Mason Taylor is a fan favorite already, I think. Jets fans are already doing their thing with Mason Taylor. You look at the film at LSU, this guy looks like a pro's pro. He looks like he is going to come in and immediately be a good football player and provide an immediate impact as a rookie, which is rare. I think Jeremy Ruckert, entering a contract year, by the way, matched up with Mason Taylor in the tight end position. We brought in Stone Smart as well. We still got Zach Kuntz. This is the year where the tight end position is going to be solved. And I'm a big fan of Mason Taylor, man. And you should be too. You should be too. Because I think what Mason Taylor provides to this football team is something that we have lacked for a long time at that tight end position, which is a reliable hands. Someone that can go out there, get you the first down. He is someone that will pick up the first down on third down, even if you give him the rock behind the first down marker. He'll figure out a way to lower his shoulder and get there. So salute to Mason Taylor, bro, because I am a big fan of his game. And when you are a Jets fan going into day number 2, right? You look at the board, who's available. You look at who was drafted in the first round. You look where the Jets went with Membu. I think almost 90% of Jets fans wanted Mason Taylor to be the pick at pick 42. And the fact that he actually was tells you that we got our guy. And there was even a report that came out the day 2 of the draft that the Jets are targeting Mason Taylor, but they're scared he's not going to be available at pick 42. So they were nervous that he's not going to be available. But he was there for them. So that's huge. Pro's pro. Father was a Jet. Cannot complain whatsoever, man. And I think going pick by pick is important here because I think there's a lot of people that are excited about this new class, and I wanted to give my breakdown of all these guys. Next up, Azareye'h Thomas. You can argue my favorite player of this entire class. Azareye'h Thomas is interesting, folks, because he is not your typical corner. He's not your typical corner. And the reason why I say that is he's long, he's athletic, but he's not super fast. And that's why he dropped in the class, right? You look at what Azareye'h Thomas did at Florida State. He is somebody that definitely has an opportunity to replace DJ Reed as our cornerback next to Sauce Gardner, which I think is exciting. Absolutely think that's exciting, man. You look at what Azareye'h Thomas does from a strengths perspective. This is the exact type of football player that our guy Aaron Glenn wants to bring in, right? You talk about somebody that is long, lanky, like to press at the line of scrimmage, it's Azareye'h Thomas. And the Jets are going to be looking for a corner next to Sauce Gardner for a while. But no, not anymore, because Azareye'h Thomas is the guy. And he was one of my favorite players in this entire class at that position because, like I've told you guys before, I was at the Senior Bowl and I interviewed Azareye'h Thomas. And I was impressed with his game, which is why I went out of my way to interview him, right? I did not have to interview Thomas, but after practice was up, you get to go on the field and you get to interview a player. And I'm like, I want to interview Thomas, bro, because this kid looks like the real deal. And by the way, at that time, Thomas was projected to go late first round, early second round in the draft. But then he fell after the combine because his 40-yard dash was not that great. I'm not going to be concerned about that. I think Glenn hit it on the nail where his play style, his play speed is faster than his, 40-yard dash speed. What's more important? When you run with pads on or you run in pajamas or gym shorts or whatever they wear at the combine? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Give me all of it. Aaron Glenn is no nonsense to the point where he called Thomas to congratulate him on becoming a Jet. And you know what he said? We're going to have you pressing the line of scrimmage and choking them out. Aaron Glenn's words, not mine. That's the type of mindset AG is going to instill in these guys, playing with an attitude, playing with a ferocity that I feel like Saleh attempted to bring but failed. And I'm excited, bro, because this is a guy that's going to be pressed at the line of scrimmage, man coverage with Sauce. It's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be a good time. I mean, if you're not familiar with Thomas's game, please go do some research on him because he is a really fun talent. Now, the big question mark of the draft, of course, was Arian Smith. Arian Smith was, a lot of people are saying, overdrafted. A lot of people are worried that the Jets reached for this guy, right? And I'm going to give the kid an opportunity to prove himself before I just write him off. I know that he has a drop issue. I know that he was projected to go a little bit later in the draft. I get all that. But the Georgia wide receiver has a lot of confidence in himself, and he's self-aware of his issue. And I think what this draft pick told me is the Jets are rolling the dice. This is a gamble. And let me tell you this, if this gamble pays off, watch out. Because the Jets just got one of the fastest players in the NFL on their team. And this was a draft pick of traits and traits only. You look at the trait of speed. Arian Smith brings that. He is going to blow by anybody at the line of scrimmage. But his issues, of course, is route running, his ability to absorb contact, and his frame is not that big. So he's going to have to prove himself at the next level in the NFL. But I definitely think he has upside in special teams and all that fun stuff. And now my next favorite player in this entire draft is Malachi Moore. Malachi Moore is very interesting because I think he's going to be a starter for this team. I think the Jets found a starting safety in the 4th round. 2-year captain. If you're a starter in Alabama secondary for multiple years, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Jets went all SEC, by the way, in this draft class, which is definitely something to note. But Malachi Moore brings football intelligence. He brings smarts. He brings range, free safety, free roaming safety, get his nose dirty. He's someone that I think a lot of Jets fans are going to really like a lot. And I think when you look at Malachi Moore's opportunity to play in this defense with Aaron Glenn, think of Brian Branch with the Detroit Lions and how he utilized him there. You look at what Brian Branch did in Detroit in the secondary, very similar to what the Jets are going to utilize Malachi Moore here. Now, nothing is given. Everything is earned in this league. He's going to have to go out there and earn himself a starter opportunity. But I think that he is going to go out there and be a dog. And now we brought in Andre Cisco. So I think the safety tandem is interesting. But there's another guy that the Jets have on this roster that I find interesting is Brandon Stephens. I don't know what their plan is with him. If he's going to be the starter or it's going to be Azareye'h Thomas. I don't know. You guys let me know what I'm missing because I think that there's a lot of interesting hypotheticals that you can throw out there with this Jets football team, man. You really, really can. So the class is finalized, folks. And I think that looking at the class on paper, you know, we finish off the class with 2 players from Miami that can definitely be a dog. And you look at the safety room, you bring in as Malachi Moore, and the safety room is what? Andre Cisco, Tony Adams, and that's really it to be noteworthy. So when I went into this draft, I went in with this perspective that the New York Jets have to hit this, man. And I think they did. I think that they hit on 3 potential starters, maybe even borderline 4. You know, our last 2 picks are going to be depth pieces. They're not going to start unless there's injuries. Arian Smith has an opportunity just because the wide receiver position is so wide open. You got Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Josh Reynolds, Malachi Corley, and Xavier Gibson. So not a lot of names around the wide receiver position in Garrett Wilson. So I think Membu is a starting right tackle in this league. Taylor is a starting tight end in this league. Thomas is a starting corner in this league. And Malachi Moore could be a starting safety. And I think Arian Smith has to prove himself. And then the other 2 guys we brought in are going to be pieces that develop for the long run. Right? And I think we've grown to get a good idea of Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn has been somebody that really steps up his intensity in moments like this. And I'm excited for AG, man. I really am. I think that if you're a Jets fan, you look at Aaron Glenn, you look at the philosophy, you look at the type of identity that he's trying to establish here. It's awesome, man. It's an awesome opportunity. I had the luxury to interview Johnny Mitchell, Jets first-round pick from 1992. He was teammates with Aaron Glenn, and he had a lot of insightful things to say about his former teammate. I recommend you guys go check that out because I love what he had to say about Aaron Glenn. He said basically, for him, nothing was given to him. Everything was earned. And Charles Davis, another person that I interviewed, NFL Network analyst, he is somebody that also said Aaron Glenn worked his way up. He was not handed this opportunity. It wasn't gifted to him on a silver platter. In the league, he had to find himself because he was not, too tall to make it in the league. So he had to prove himself. And I think that what Aaron Glenn is providing here is stability. And I hope that Jets fans are all in. I really do hope that they're all in on the philosophy and the mindset that Aaron Glenn is trying to implement here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm expecting the Jets to go to the playoffs and win the division this year. I think it's going to take some time, but I'm all in on his philosophy and what he's trying to accomplish. And I think the non-messing around attitude is what this Jets team needs. He has some Bill Parcells in him, of course. He has the ferocity. He has all the traits you need to be a head coach of the New York Jets. So I'm fired up, man. And apologies if I feel a little lethargic. I'm definitely have some type of bug. I don't know if it's allergies or something, but I have a blasting headache. But I had to go live and talk to you guys here on this Wednesday. I love you guys so much, man. Let's go Jets. I think that there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon with this team. And it all starts with Aaron Glenn at the helm, because with him, I have confidence. We have Justin Fields coming on in here and being our quarterback. And I don't really know what to expect, man. I think that there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, but I'm not over hyping the Jets. I learned my lesson the hard way, right? I learned my lesson the hard way. And I think that what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji have done here is they twinkled this roster. They got rid of the guys that does not fit their mold. They brought in guys that do fit in the mold. And you look at the free agent acquisitions in Justin Fields and Andre Cisco and all the defensive tackles we brought in. That's what this Jets team is trying to represent, those types of players. And I think that the ability to have Justin Fields here, I got optimism that he's going to be able to throw the football the best he's ever had, but I'm also not going to inflate him and think that he's going to break out and be a stud. Is that possible? Absolutely. I'm not going to put a ceiling on his head. But the guy was a first-round pick for a reason, and I think what the Jets are going to try to do is look at what worked at Ohio State and try to replicate that here. And the first thing that he had in Ohio State was the offensive line, and he has that offensive line now. Next, he has some playmakers, and the Jets got playmakers around him. Not perfect, but he's got Garrett Wilson to be excited about. He's got Breece Hall. He's got Braylon Allen. He's got Mason Taylor. Maybe there's a number 2 receiver that's going to emerge from the shadows this year. But I think Fields has a chip on his shoulder, which I think is exciting. He understands that this is, I don't want to say it's his final opportunity, but I don't think he'll ever get an opportunity like this again if he fails. If he fails with the Jets, I don't think he will ever be given an opportunity like this again. What I mean by that is a team like the Jets bringing him in, giving him the starting opportunity right away, not even making him compete for it, and having an offensive system built for him. That is rare. Usually, you bring in a quarterback and there's a system in place, and then the quarterback needs to learn the system. In this case, the system is being built for Justin Fields. So he's coming in here at the perfect time because he could grow with this Jets new regime. And I don't think he'll ever get an opportunity like this again. And he has no excuses. 100% no excuses, man. Everything is out there for him. I don't care what injuries happen around him. He needs to go out there and make some plays. And more importantly, win football games. Don't turn the ball over. Play efficient. Show upside. Be a leader of men. And this is his last opportunity, man. Because if he fails with the Jets, there's not going to be a team out there that's going to give him this opportunity. The next time he gets onto a football team, if he fails with the Jets, it will definitely be a backup. That's how I look at it. And he knows that. And he signed a 2-year deal. And I'm sure he wants to cash out. You see the quarterback contracts around the league right now? I'm sure Fields is like, man, I want to get that 4-year, $100+ million contract myself. And the way you do that is you go out there and win football games. You do what Sam Darnold did. You do what Baker Mayfield did. You do what Geno Smith did. It's out there. There's proof that it could be done. But will Justin Fields make it? We shall see. I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic. And I think that the layer of offense that he's bringing here is different and is fresh. And I think that's the exciting element, in my opinion, as a Jets fan. It's a fresh feeling having a dual threat at quarterback. Reminder, Fields is one of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards on the ground as a quarterback. It's Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, and Mike Vick. The only players to do that. So I'm not sitting here and say Fields is going to be as good as Lamar or as good as Vick, but he has that much upside as a runner. And I think the Jets are going to take advantage of that. So we shall see. Folks, we're going to wrap it up here on Bleacher Report. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, let's go Jets. All right, the show wrapped up a Bleacher Report. We're still live here on Jets Media. Just want to let you guys know I am sick. I don't know if you guys can feel it or see it in my eyes or hear it in my voice, but I have a migraine, and I have a lot of will to work, and I don't want to not work, right? I don't want to make an excuse that I'm sick. So just if you felt some lethargic energy on my end, that's why. The AFC East Roundtable is live right after this. I will not be on there. I need to rest, man. I really don't feel good. I think either I have strep or some type of allergies, but I don't know what's wrong with me. But I just don't have the energy to deal with TD. But the legend himself, Connor Long, will be filling in for me on the AFC East Roundtable tonight. So, guys, do me a favor. Go support the AFC East Roundtable, please, and make sure that Jets Nation is represented, even though I will not be there. I would appreciate that. I'll put the link for it in the chat right now. If you're just tuning into the show, did not see the news, Jordan Travis is retired. Crazy stuff, man. Absolutely nuts. No one saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming, man. So with that, I'll let you guys go. I'm out of here, folks. I got to get some rest. And I'm kidding. I'm not showing up tonight just because of TD. It's just I really don't feel good. I don't know if you guys feel it, but yeah. All right, folks. I love you guys. Hit that like button on your way out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.